Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Maassen Dairy Farm Virtual Chat. I am Brittany with the Discover Dairy program, and we are so excited that you are joining us today as we get to meet Farmer Stefan and, of course, your adorable adopted calves, Joy and Lucy. Today's chat wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the Midwest Dairy Association and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. So thank you to both of those organizations for making today possible. First, this live chat is part of the Adopt a Cow program. And for anyone that might be new to Discover Dairy or Adopt a Cow, it is a free online resource that can cover Common Core standards in math, reading, and science, all while talking about dairy concepts in each lesson. If you're interested in accessing any of those resources, you can go to discoverdairy.com. Next, we are excited that you are joining us this year, but if you would like to join the fun again next year, we would love for you to sign up. So to sign up, registration will open on May 1st. And if you go to discoverdairy.com/adopt, there will be a short little form there that you can fill out to get the notification when registration opens up on May 1st. So again, that's discoverdairy.com/adopt, and we'll go ahead and put it in the chat feature for you. So that way you can click on that link and sign up to get those notifications for May 1st. Next, as everyone continues to join us live today, you will see that that chat feature is enabled. Please feel free to use that chat feature, comment, ask questions for Farmer Stefan. We are really excited that you're here today, but please do keep those questions and comments related to the chat and keep them school appropriate. We are really excited to hear your questions, and Farmer Stefan's excited to answer them. But let's see who is joining us today. So we're going to go ahead and see who is on. So let's see. First, we got some folks from Alabama. Hello, everybody. We have some folks from Ames, Iowa. Good morning. Got some folks from Cresco, Iowa. Good morning. Folks from the Grundy Center who adopted Lucy. Good morning. Welcome, everybody. Waukee, Iowa. Halifax, Iowa. We've got West Des Moines, Iowa, some kindergarteners. Oh, we are so thankful that you guys are on here today. They had adopted Sparkle. So thank you for being on here and still getting a chance to meet Farmer Stefan and Sparkle's herd mate. So thank you for hopping on here today, folks. We have, let's see, Bettendorf, Iowa, and Lone Tree, Iowa. So welcome, everybody. We're excited to have you. Please feel free to go ahead and keep using that chat, letting us know where you're from if you're just joining us now, and use that chat to go ahead and give us some comments and questions as we go through. So with that, we are pleased to introduce you to Farmer Stefan in Maurice, Iowa at Maassen Dairy Farm. Hey, Farmer Stefan, how are you doing today?
Hello, how are you doing? Pretty good.
Good, awesome. Well, I'm doing good. We are excited to be here with you and learn about you, your farm, and your calves. So I will let you take it away and let us know who we're talking to.
Sounds good. Well, my name is Stefan Maassen, and we're so glad to have you guys here and kind of learn a little bit about the calves that you've been following the last little while. My wife Miranda is right behind the camera here, kind of following us here, and we have 3 kids. Our oldest son is Jacob, and we have 2 daughters, McKenna and Malia. So they had fun with this project too, or with this thing, because they got to help name the calves. So a little bit about our farm. We have about 1,500 milking cows, and we raise all of our own feed for all the cows and all the young stock. And we employ about 20 employees that help us take care of all the baby calves and all the adult cows and all the other things and all the field work that needs to be done. So we're thankful for all the other people that can help us to take care of this many animals. I definitely wouldn't be able to do it all by myself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a large farm to take care of, so it's definitely a family affair. And we love that your 3 kiddos are helping you on the farm. And I must say, are they the ones that came up with the names with these calves that we had for the Adopt a Cow program?
They are. So I'll talk about that a little bit. So we have
awesome.
The 2 calves we have here is Lucy and Joy. So Lucy is more of the black calf here, and our son Jacob named this one Lucy because we like to watch the I Love Lucy show.
Aww.
But also on the face of Lucy, I don't know if she'll look at us here pretty soon or not, but she kind of has the shape of a heart on her face, on her forehead. So that's kind of cool thing about her.
Aww.
But then when we have Joy, and our daughter McKenna named her Joy because her middle name is Joy, and she's pretty joyful. So,
Aw.
and also special thing about Joy, the birthday is on September 24, and that's also my birthday. So I thought that was pretty cool. The same calf that we picked was actually my birthday when we selected the calves. So that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's so cool. Well, you guys can celebrate your birthdays together then each year. What fun.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I did not know any of that background about their names. So that's exciting to learn where their names came from. How are they doing? You know, how big are they? They look like they're getting big. Tell us about
They are
some
doing
growth
really,
on them.
really well. Yeah. So they're about 7 months old now. So you guys have kind of followed them as they have grown up here. So they are actually just weighed them this morning. They're about 450 pounds already.
Cool.
And they are actually eating more of a grass type diet now. It's called a TMR mix. It's a total mixed ration is what it's called. It's kind of a combination of like corn salad is what they're drinking and they're eating, and corn stalk mix. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. I took a little bit of different feeds along so you guys could see what we feed the cows and the calves. But yeah, they've been growing like crazy. We have them kind of next to some other calves here that are a little bit younger. The ones next to them are about 2 months old, and these calves, Joy and Lucy, are 7 months old. So yeah, you can kind of see the difference of how fast they grow. They really grow a lot faster than what we do ourselves, I guess, and what you think they would grow.
Yeah, they're very clearly like towering over the walls of the pen, whereas the other one is still, it fits in the pen.
Yep.
Now they're in this pen for today, so we can see them. But do you mind telling us where they normally would be living?
Yep. So where they normally live, so they get put into different group pens. The ones they are now are in groups of like 20 to 30 calves, and they are more of an open front type of a building. So they can kind of go outside and wander around in the fresh air and the sun when it's a nice day. But also, yeah, we're here in Northwest Iowa, so our winters get really cold and really windy. So yeah, the calves can go in the back and shelter and find protection from the wind when it's really cold. And then we usually give them bedding of corn stalks or something nice and warm that they can lay in to stay warm during the harsh weather.
Very cool.
But
Do
during
they
the
get
summer,
like a jacket or anything, or does their coat get thick, or do they get anything?
Yeah, so Miranda was going to grab that once about the baby calves. Yeah, the coat does. Yeah, calves have a lot of hair for in the winter. So calves, talk a little bit about the weather. They really enjoy colder weather, you'd say, compared to what we do. Their ideal temperature is 50 to 60 degrees. Is kind of their perfect environment, what they'd like to be in. So actually, yeah, when it gets warmer than 70 degrees, it's considered heat stress on them, or it makes them hot, where we considered 70 is optimum.
Perfect. Yeah.
What I have here is calf coat, we call it. Yeah, we put coats on the calves when they're just born, when they're baby calves. So we put this over top their back, and then we kind of strap that around them to keep it so it doesn't fall off. It's kind of like your zipper. And then we'll keep that on them for the first couple of weeks of life when they're born, just to help them grow a little bit better and keep them warm since it gets so cold here in Northwest Iowa.
Oh, they must look so cute in their jackets. I'm sure that looks adorable.
Yeah, we have different colors, so yeah, you put the pink ones on the girls if you want to.
Oh my goodness. So they stay nice and warm in the winter, and they definitely don't like it as hot as we do. But do you have things in the barns when it does get warm? Maybe for the cows, is there anything that you do to keep the cows cool in the summertime?
We do, yeah. For the cows, so the cows we have, they're all in like a freestall barn. So it's they call it a freestall barn because the cow is free to lay down and free to eat whenever she wants to. She's not like restrained to a certain spot. So, but then in those barns, we have big fans that'll kick on in the summertime. That'll blow air over the cows, and then we also have sprinklers, kind of like a lot of you guys like running the sprinkler when in the summertime when it's hot. We have sprinklers that spray over top their backs, and then the fan will blow over their backs and do evaporative cooling off the cows. That's how we keep them cool when it gets above 70, 75 degrees.
Oh, that sounds like heaven. It sounds like they live in almost a climate controlled area, and that's pretty impressive.
They do. It's really nice in the summer, and yeah, in the wintertime when it's harsh, we can close up. We have things on the side called curtains. It's kind of like windows on the house, I guess you compare them to. You can roll the curtains up and down according to what the weather is outside, to make it warmer or cooler depending on what the weather is.
Very cool. We have, so I think you had mentioned something about seeing some feed samples. We'd love to take a look at those and see what that looks like. And while you're sharing with us those feed samples, just as a reminder, feel free to go ahead and put your questions in that chat. We'd love to get to them once we are done wrapping up, giving some info on their feed.
I'll show it here. If you can see that okay. So this is mostly called corn silage. So this is the main ingredient that we feed to all the adult cows. So corn silage is pretty much the whole corn plant in the field, and we chop it up into all tiny different pieces, or 3/4 inch pieces. So cows, they have the major part of, depending on what part of the country you live in, most especially in Iowa, the most of the diet is mostly corn, different types of corn, and the way we process the corn. That's corn silage. That's the main part, the ingredient that we feed in the cow ration.
And corn silage,
And
if I'm not mistaken, it's like the whole stalk, right? You guys are like not just doing the corn cob itself, but it's the whole stalk that you're putting in.
Yep, whole thing. So we harvest it when it's green. You guys kind of see it in the fall when it's green in the field, and then we'll chop it up run the whole thing through and chop it into tiny pieces.
Very cool.
So I have here, this is called haylage. So this is kind of maybe you've seen it in the field before too. It's kind of a type of grass that grows about 2-3 feet tall. Then we cut that up, and then we chop it into 1-inch pieces too. So we grow that here in Iowa, and that's a major part of the cow diet too that we feed them.
It looks like Luce is a little interested in what you're.
Yeah, she smells it. I wish you guys could smell it. It smells. I just grabbed it this morning. It's nice and fresh samples. Yeah, she definitely smells it. Oh, about cows, they have really good sense of smell and a good sense of hearing. So it's kind of a cool thing about cows and about cows. Yeah, she smelled it right away when I took it out here.
Awesome.
And then another ingredient here, we have same thing. It's a corn. So this is just the kernel of corn when it gets drier. And then we grind it up. They call this flour corn. So we grind it up really small, and then we add this into part of the ration too. But yeah, you can't even tell. You guys have maybe played with kernels of corn and stuff before, but same thing. It's just all ground up corn.
All ground up. Does that help with digestion? Grinding it up versus whole kernels, or why do you grind it up?
We grind it up, because it releases the cows can get a lot more energy out of it for what they need. So we actually have a nutritionist come, and then they can balance the diet for the cows and for the calves. So they can balance it exactly for what the cow needs for how much she's milking, or for what she needs for her energy. So yeah, and then we also have a veterinarian that'll come out once a week, who's actually here today checking on the cows, and kind of doing a walkthrough with everybody.
Wow. So you have a nutritionist. It kind of sounds like these ladies are like supermodels who have someone who makes their food for them 24/7, so they can be spick and span all the time. I wish I had my own nutritionist.
I know. They have it pretty good.
Oh my gosh. No, that food looks delicious. Now I will say, you were talking about grasses and corn and things like that, but I don't think I would want to eat any of those things. Why does it work for a cow to eat those versus, why can't we digest it, but they can?
Yeah, so it works for a cow. So I don't know if you've heard before or not, but cows actually have 4 stomachs, or the debate is whether a cow has 4 stomachs or she has 1 stomach with 4 compartments. But either way, she has 4 stomachs. So a cow is able to take big bites of their feed and swallow it with grasses and long particles. And then they are able to make use of that by actually, it sounds kind of gross, but they'll kind of regurgitate part of the food again and chew it. It's called cows chewing. They chew their cud. So they'll actually regurgitate part of that feed, and they'll chew on that, and then they'll swallow it back down again, and kind of repeat that process over and over. And that's how they kind of are able to kind of consume their meal right away. And then later on, when they're laying down or relaxing in their stall, or even walking around, they can be chewing their cud and kind of continuing further digest that food.
Oh, very cool. Okay, so they can definitely, that's what lets them process the food, way better than we could. I don't think I would want to go munch on some hay out in the field or anything like that, or grass. But these cows, to them, that's absolutely delicious. Kind of along those lines, somebody asked, do cows get treats at all? Is that something that you give cows treats, or are they on a pretty strict diet with the nutritionist?
So they kind of get treats, I guess. So sometimes some of our calves, we have them in calf hutches, and then when it rains, sometimes their feet will get a little bit wet. So we'll, instead of just throwing that feed away, we'll take some of that feed, and then the calves not necessarily like it because they think it's kind of like soggy cereal. They don't think it tastes very good. But we'll take some of that and we'll give it to the cows, and they love that. I think they think it's like a candy bar, like a treat. For some reason, they really like that feed. So that's kind of a treat for them that they get, I guess, when other animals don't necessarily like it.
Right. Maybe it's a reminder of their calfhood
I
of being
it
able
could
to.
easily be. Could easily be. Like I remember what this stuff tastes like. Yep.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, Farmer Stefan. That was a lot of really great information, and we have a lot of good questions coming in here that we're going to try and get through. So if you're ready for some questions, let's
Sure.
see. So the first one from Kara, she was asking, how long do cows live?
So cows can live on average. They can live almost up as old as 15 years. I was just looking at our herd. Some of our older cows are 10 to 12 years old, and a few of those cows have had 9 lactations. So lactation is how long she gives milk for. So she has some of those cows have given milk 9 different times and possibly had 9 different calves over a 10-year period.
Wow. Holy moly. And
Yeah.
that's old because so maybe for anyone that's listening, you're thinking, well, I'm 15, that doesn't sound very old, but I think I've heard that one cow year is about to like 10 human years, 8 to 10 human years. So a 15-year-old cow, that's an old cow.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's kind of crazy how fast calves and cows can grow. Because when a baby calf is first born, sometimes they'll start to almost walk by maybe 10 minutes or 30 minutes old already. They'll start walking around. So they really, compared to us, where some of it takes, we take what, 9 months to a year possibly to start walking. The calves
Yep.
are way ahead of us on that. So they
Do it in
grow
10 minutes.
a lot quicker. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, that's pretty cool. We have another good question. So we've got some JC first graders who would like to know how many calves you have now or at any given time on the farm.
So right now, the calves that are under about 12 weeks old, we have around 400 calves. So we feed them all twice a day, and we feed them all. I took along one of the bottles that we give the calves. And Miranda's going to grab it here. We give them all 3-quart bottles. So 3 quarts, that's a gallon. 4 quarts is a gallon. So this is a 3-quart bottle.
Oh
So
my
a
goodness.
lot of these calves will drink the whole 3 quarts twice a day. So they drink a lot of milk
Yeah.
for baby calves.
Oh my gosh. I can't even, I've, that whole like drink a gallon of water challenge type thing to like do that all day. I can't even drink a gallon of water and I can't even, nope, that sounds like a lot of milk, but they're much bigger than us. So it makes sense. And they need that nutrition to get nice and strong. Okay, then let's see, another question. So talking about our cows a little bit. So we have some questions that were saying, how much milk can a cow produce altogether? So maybe give us in a day and maybe like the average for a year.
Okay. So on average, a lot of our cows will give about 85 pounds per cow. So a lot of cows, they measure how much they give in pounds, but if you compare that to gallons, that's about 9 to 10 gallons a day that each cow will give. And over a year, it's about 28, 30,000 pounds over a year's time.
Oh my goodness. That's a lot of milk. And then, so where
Yep.
does that milk go then? Who picks your milk up? And like, do you know a brand name by any chance that maybe your milk goes to?
So ours goes to it's called AMPI, and a lot of it is I think they branded into Dinner Bell Creamery or Dinner Bell, and then also Crystal Farms. So a lot of our milk is turned into cheese, and then that's further processed into shredded cheese or block cheese, sliced cheese. A lot of you actually probably have maybe consumed milk from our dairy before if you've had hamburgers from McDonald's or a lot of restaurants use the shredded cheese. So it goes a lot of different areas throughout the U.S.
That's cool. So anyone that goes out to eat or buys your milk in the grocery store or gets some cheese on your burger or something, you can be sitting there thinking, I might be eating some dairy from Maassen Dairy Farm, which is pretty cool. It's really neat how it comes full circle and you're really able to provide an incredible food source for your local community, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. We've got some other great questions. Let's see. So a funny one. They were asking if the cows ever escape or run away or anything like that.
So sometimes they do. Like we said, they're in Iowa here. We have them in a barn, but sometimes they're a very curious animal, and they're very good with their tongue and on how to get like the dog snaps or chains off the gates. So sometimes they'll get out and they think it's the best thing ever. They can run around for a while and have fun for a little bit. The cows, they kind of like to stay in a herd or in a group. So they'll somewhat stay together. So it's pretty easy to get back in because they'll kind of stay together. Yeah, sometimes they do get out, but we try to keep them in so they don't run away.
Right. Yeah. And you said it spot on. They might think it's fun for 10, 15 minutes, but they very quickly realize, wait, my food and shelter is back there. I'm going to go back in.
Yeah, they get hungry and then have to come back again.
Right. All right. They were asking, where do they go to sleep? Like, do they have like a bedroom that they sleep in their own room, or how does the sleeping arrangement work for cows?
Yep. So all of our cows, they lay, maybe you've seen some of the previous videos, but they lay on sand. So it's nice and soft for them. So they kind of each have their own stall or kind of like a bed, I guess you could lay in, that they go and lay in. So I know some people ask about if cows sleep at all. They don't sleep near as long as we do. They don't sleep like an 8-hour period. But they'll have a lot of short cat naps, I guess you call it, where they sleep for maybe 30 minutes and then later on they'll have another nap. So that's kind of what they do.
Okay, that sounds good. We have another question. I'm going to reword it just a little bit to get a pretty good point across. So someone was asking, is the white patch on the head something that Lucy was born with? So I'm going to, ask, are they born with these markings and then it stays, or do they change over time, or how does that work for a cow?
Yep. So they are, they're born with the spots that they have. So kind of as they grow, their spots will kind of get bigger, but they'll kind of stay proportional to the size of the animal. So yeah, she'll always kind of have that heart shape on her face or on her forehead.
Oh, that's pretty cool. She'll always have that special I love Lucy heart.
Yep.
We had some folks asking, how much food does a grown cow eat and how much do they drink?
So that's a good question. So they eat a lot. So on average, adult cow will eat 90 to 100 pounds of the TMR feed. So compare that to, some people say it's like the size of a big garbage can full of feed. That's about how much feed they'll eat per day.
Oh my gosh.
It's a pretty good amount. And then also for water, they drink between 30 to 50 gallons of water per day. In the summertime, it'll be more when they're really hot, and the winter will be less, but still it's a lot of water.
Yeah, that's a lot of food and water they're taking in, but I guess it makes sense. I mean, they're big animals. What does a grown cow weigh?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So grown cow, we have a lot of Holstein cows. They're usually a little bit bigger cows. A lot of them weigh between 1,500 to 2,000 pounds. So 2,000 pounds is a ton.
It's a ton.
So, yeah, they're a lot of cows actually weigh about a ton. The bigger ones do.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. You said 2,000 pounds. I'm thinking that is a full ton. How do you manage an animal that big? Like, what if you have to move them from pen to pen, or how do you like get them into the milking parlor? Like, what do you do? Because those are big animals. If they don't want to move, they're not going to move.
Yeah. So they're pretty used to us always being around them all the time. So these baby calves, we feed them by hand ever since when they're first born. So they're used to us always being around them or by them or walking around them. So they pretty much just kind of walk around as we walk through them, and yeah, they're pretty easy to move around when we need them to change groups or go to different pens. So they're pretty calm with us always being around. They're used to always us being around them all the time.
Yeah, so they're just used to it, just like any, I guess any house pet or anything like that. Once they get used to you, they listen and they'll do their thing. That's pretty cool. We had a question asking, how long is the milking process for the cows, and what does it feel like?
Okay, so the milking process, to actually, the time it takes for them to get milked is only about 5 to 7 minutes. It takes a little bit of time for them to walk, to get ready before the parlor, and to kind of get through. But actually, the milking process only takes 5 to 7 minutes. Wow. I don't know how to describe getting milked. Probably like I don't know if you guys have a vacuum at home or whatever. Have ever played with it or stuck your finger in the vacuum? I think it's a lot like that.
Feels like that. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So pretty gentle, pretty calm.
Yeah.
And the cows enjoy it and relax, and then they're on their merry way and eat and drink and relax and pretty much live vacation life like every day.
Yeah. There's some dairies that have robots that milk the cows, and those cows they come in on their own to get milked. They kind of feel when they need to get milked, and they'll come in. So it's not cows don't mind getting milked.
Right. Very cool. We had a good question from Caitlin Austin. She was asking if you had any other animals on the farm other than dairy cows.
We don't have a lot of other animals, and my kids always say we want a horse or we want something else. So I say all of our calves keep me pretty busy. So we do have a couple pets at home, a small little dog at home, but other than that, we don't have a lot of other animals that we take care of.
Well, you have a lot of cows to take care of, so I think that makes sense to just focus on the cows. We had another question from, I forget who it was from, but it was a good question. They asked, how long does it take to feed all of the cows on the farm, and just in general, I guess, do your daily chores? What does that day look like for you on the farm?
Okay. So yeah, the baby calves, it takes us, we feed them with like 3 or 4 people, and it'll take us almost about an hour to get all the baby calves milk. And then the adult cows and all the other animals that we feed, we kind of feed them throughout the morning. It takes a couple hours to feed all them, to get the feed, all the different ingredients put into the mixer truck, and for that to mix up properly and to put all the feed down for all the cows. So usually about by noon, we're all done feeding everybody, at least the cows, and then the baby calves, we come back again in the afternoon or night, and then feed them all their second feeding of milk again at night.
All right. Sounds like you've got a pretty good routine going on for these girls. They're routine animals, right? They don't really like change. So
yeah, they're kind of, I guess we always think of routine as kind of boring, but they really like same thing every day. If you switch stuff up on them, they don't like that as much. They like everything kind of be calm and routine and kind of the way the same thing every day.
Yeah. Now you mentioned, they like routine and being calm. How do you know when a cow is happy and enjoying what's happening on the farm? What can you tell if they're happy or sad or maybe not feeling well? What are some indicators?
Yeah. So I can talk a little bit about that. We have, I'll grab the ear tag here right away, but just the younger calves, we always walk through them, and you can tell a lot by looking at their ears and just the way they kind of look. If their ears are droopy, a lot of times they won't be necessarily feeling real well. If their nose is they got a runny nose, kind of like we do. The nose will be kind of be snotty if they're getting a little bit sick.
Right.
I was gonna show you this. So these are the tags that we give them when they're born. So this tag, and then it actually has, we kind of use a lot of technology, just as a lot of you guys maybe use new technology in your classrooms with different things with computers. But these tags actually have a computer chip inside of this tag. Oh, Lucy wants to grab my shirt here. So they have a computer chip inside this tag that'll read each cow when she comes through the parlor. So that way we'll know when she comes through the parlor, and we'll be able to track how much milk she gave that day and kind of keep track of her. And then we actually have this other tag that we just started using about a year ago, but it'll actually monitor the cow's temperature and her activity. So we'll be able to tell if she's laying down a lot or if she's running around. So with this tag, we're able to monitor the cows. If they're not feeling really well, it'll kind of give us a report of the cows that we need to go check out a little further, because cows are not able to talk to us and say, hey, I'm not feeling really good today. You kind of have to go and look at them and use ways to find out how they are or why they're not feeling well. So yeah, been using this technology. So this has been really cool to be able to use that too, to keep track of them that way.
Wow. Where would we be without technology? It's incredible. And you are no longer a farmer who just wears overalls and a pitchfork and just doing everything by hand. Like, you really rely on technology. Are there other pieces of technology or things that maybe you could talk about a little bit, that maybe if your farm doesn't have it, but other farms that they use and how they use technology?
Yeah. So a lot of farms use, like I said, there's a lot of robots out there. There's a lot of newer technology just to make stuff more efficient in the parlors. I don't know if you guys have toured any dairies before, but some dairies have like a carousel where the cows will walk on and they kind of go around in a circle, kind of like a merry-go-round. Even with the cooling of the cows, everything is a lot more electronic and just more advanced than it was 5-10 years ago.
That's awesome. And that kind of makes you kind of have to be a jack of all trades, as we're wrapping up here and finishing up our live chat. You have to, you have a nutritionist and you have a vet and you've got people who can help you, but really you're the ones is with the animals all the time. So you kind of have to be a little bit of everything and also know how to understand all this technology and manage the cows. And so maybe just tell us, bringing this all full circle for us, why have you chosen to be a dairy farmer? Why do you choose to kind of, have many different hats and take care of these cows? What's your passion behind all of this and choosing a career as a farmer?
Yeah, so I really I love being outside. I love just taking care of animals and checking on the animals. And I like variety throughout my day. So it's pretty easy for me to decide that, dairy farming is a lot of hard work and some of it's not so glamorous, but I enjoy producing the product for you guys to enjoy and for my family to enjoy and for us. So yeah, I really enjoy what I do every day. And there's a lot of different things, like I said, different variety each day and different hats that you wear to make it succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you've got your kiddos who I'm sure love growing up on a dairy farm, and that just gives them a really great place to learn about life, learn about just in general, just learning responsibility. And I will say I'm very thankful for what you do and your family and what you do, because I would be very upset without ice cream and cheese in my life. So,
Yep.
and I'm sure many people on here agree with that sentiment. So thank you so much, Farmer Stefan, and to your family for everything you do and providing a really healthy and nutritious dairy product for us. And clearly these girls are very happy and content, and just Lucy was trying to give you a little extra love and, and eat your shirt, but she, they very clearly trust you and love you. And in return, we're very thankful for everything you do, and trust that our product that's coming from you is wholesome and healthy. So thank you so much for tuning in today, everybody, for chatting with Farmer Stefan today. Farmer Stefan, do you have any last words before we are signing off today?
Yeah, just thank you guys for joining us. I hope you learned something new, and yeah, hope you just continue to learn more about the dairy, and we're excited to share things with you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you for being great caretakers of the land and your cows. We love them. They have been adorable to watch all year. And again, thank you everybody for joining us today. This was a lot of fun. You all had really great questions, so we enjoyed getting to those, and we hope you enjoyed today. We hope you have a good day, and we look forward to seeing you in the program next year. Take care, everybody. Bye. All right.